Narcissists spend a significant portion of their time and energy planning to and getting narcissistic supply. However, narcissistic supply is much more than just the narcissist seeking attention or validation. It is what gives them a reason to get up in the morning and directly affects their self-esteem and worth as a person. So what exactly is this narcissistic supply? Why do they need it so much? Does it differ between subtypes of narcissists such as overt, covert, malignant, and sadistic narcissists? As well as, does the narcissist actually have to interact with you to get narcissistic supply? Stay tuned as these questions and more will be answered. Although narcissists have grandiose views of who they are or believe they should be, they deep down have very low self-confidence and thus base their view of themselves almost entirely on outside sources. They need others to tell them their worth or to validate what the narcissist wants to believe about themselves, which is why narcissists project a false image of themselves by copying behaviors of others, retelling other people's accomplishments or life stories as if it happened to the narcissist, and making up stories to manipulate people into seeing the narcissist how the narcissist wants people to see them. This makes the narcissist feel safe, as they are then assured that people will treat them how they want people to treat them, as well as tell them exactly what the narcissist wants to hear about themselves. As different subtypes of narcissist, such as the overt, covert, communal, and malignant narcissist, see themselves differently, each will seek different narcissistic supply from people. And as narcissists use people's opinions of them as well as other external sources to regulate their emotions, they may seek different narcissistic supply at different times. Such as, if they want to feel good, they may do something that makes them feel good or get people to tell them something about themselves which makes them feel good. Although one can split narcissism into many subtypes of narcissists based on how they express their narcissism, narcissistic supply can be placed into 4 main types. The first type of narcissistic supply is what the overt narcissist often seeks, being praise. There is nothing wrong with seeking praise for your accomplishments. The problem comes in the desperation the narcissist has in seeking this praise and how far they will go to get it. Say you were to start learning to bake and you just bake your first cake and it came out wonderfully. You may be proud of yourself, and although you may wish to show it off and have others taste it to get some validation that your cake is indeed amazing, you may not need this validation and can generate internal worth on your own. But for a narcissist, especially an overt narcissist, they need others to validate that it is not just an amazing cake, but the best cake they have ever tasted. For the narcissist, if no one knows about their accomplishment, it is meaningless. They are largely driven by what they think will impress others. But here is the interesting thing. A normal person has the ability to combine all their past achievements and merge it into a single value package, or their self-esteem. Narcissists, however, often see their past as different people. This makes them almost laser-like focused on the current thing they are trying to get validation for, as that thing determines their entire worth, regardless of past achievements. Narcissists also struggle to see other people as individuals with their own beliefs, likes, and dislikes. The narcissist thinks all others think like them. So a normal person can feel good about themselves about baking the cake, even if they tell no one, where a narcissist needs others to validate that opinion. Plus, a normal person can understand that others may not like the cake, and if they don't, a normal person can still believe they are awesome and that the cake was a success. For the narcissist, if someone does not agree with them or doesn't show the same enthusiasm for how awesome the cake is, which is an extension of a narcissist, then it shatters the narcissist's view of themselves. If the cake turns out to flop, or others don't agree that it is an amazing cake, a normal person only sees themselves as failing in that one instance or one thing, baking the cake. Due to their past successes, this one failure does not affect their self-worth much. Thus, the outcome of a cake in this instance is not tied to their total worth as a person, but for the narcissist, it is. Their entire worth as a person is directly tied to this single outcome, while all other achievements are basically forgotten. So when they don't get the feedback they want, it is to them not just a failure in this situation, but their entire life and existence being a failure. That is why narcissists often overact and seem so sensitive to the smallest criticism, because their self-worth is fluid and constantly changes to whatever situation or outcome they focus on in that moment. And as their emotions are tied to their self-esteem, a narcissist can go from happy and friendly to rageful and attacking you in a split second over nothing, because the slightest thing can threaten their fragile ego that threatens their entire worth as a person, which causes them to experience extreme negative emotions they don't know how to healthily deal with. The second type of narcissistic supply is often sought out by what is commonly known as the covert narcissist, and that is sympathy. Although covert narcissists have entitlement, their grandiosity has partially or fully collapsed. They are not as delusional as the overt narcissist and see themselves for who they are. So they may think they should be great, but they accept they are not as great as they think they should be. To protect their ego, they have formed a victim mentality from a child, where it is not their fault they are not as successful as they think they deserve to be. This allows them to accept reality for their current situation, while also protecting their fragile ego, and allows them to believe they are superior to others, even if they are less successful than others. From a child, they formed the belief that everyone is out to get them, out of envy because the narcissist is so special. And due to other people and life having wronged them, the narcissist's success, happiness, and great life were taken from them. But this causes them to, as an adult, be trapped in an inescapable situation. For their entire identity and the way they get attention and resources is now built upon being a victim. If they accept help or advice that changes their life radically, it can destroy their victim identity and threaten to have them lose all their validation and resources. If they become successful, many will over time consciously and subconsciously self-sabotage their success, as well as refuse help and advice so that they can keep being the victim. It is also why they cannot have someone else be a victim and get attention, as it threatens their sole way of getting narcissistic supply. But constantly believing the world has wronged you from a child eventually causes the narcissist to start to hate anyone who seems happy or better off than them, especially when the narcissist suffers a setback in life. As the narcissist has bought in so fully into the idea that their success and happiness was stolen from them, they see others being happy or successful as these people undeservingly enjoying what was due to the narcissist. Thus, they will often go out of their way to ruin other people's success and happiness, as they feel that if they cannot be happy, no one shall be happy. Which takes us to the next narcissistic supply. Although narcissists can get narcissistic supply from praise for their accomplishments to boost their self-esteem, or from sympathy to validate their victim mentality and make them feel important by people going out of their way to help the narcissist, a sadistic narcissist, who often is a covert narcissist, does not care that much how people see them and mainly gets their narcissistic supply from seeing others in pain and misery. These twisted people get enjoyment and a sense of power when they can cause other people harm. This goes further than abusing someone just to maintain control over them. Here, the abuse or harm is planned to have maximum impact and is often psychological in nature. For instance, where a normal narcissist may tell you outright that you cannot have a birthday party because you displeased them, a sadistic narcissist will go through all the trouble of preparing the party, then the night before text all the guests and say you are sick and the party is cancelled. Then the next day they wait with you as if the party is still on. When no one shows up, they say to you, "See, no one likes you because you are such a loser." These people will often break your stuff as they know you are basically powerless against it. You may be able to defend yourself against direct abuse or see it coming and prepare yourself, but damaging or selling your stuff you cannot see. This is also where indirect narcissistic supply comes in. Imagine you are buying a present for someone you really care about. You may spend days, weeks, or even months planning and searching for the perfect gift. And you may be filled with joy for how you imagine they will react when they open the gift. You may even think that you are a wonderful person and so thoughtful for going through so much trouble to make the other person happy. That joy you get by just imagining how happy you are going to make the other person can drive you and even give you enough push to go through difficult times. You may work late or do tasks you don't like and say to yourself, "It is worth it because I will be able to afford that amazing gift which is going to make my friend or partner so happy." Now the same principle applies to sadistic narcissists who plan in advance to hurt you, break your stuff, leave nasty voicemail, or posts online they know will hurt you. They get immense satisfaction from imagining and anticipating your reaction. They don't even need to see your reaction. They can imagine how you may cry and feel hopeless from what they know about you. Whatever they do, even ruining your career or life, they choose to do things they know will have maximum impact on you emotionally. The more they can hurt you, the more powerful they feel they are, especially if you are strong-willed or powerful. For they say to themselves, "I must be even more powerful than that person for being able to hurt them so much." They sometimes see people who love themselves or are securing themselves as a challenge and an opportunity to prove to themselves how powerful they are by breaking you. Thus, logic, pleading, threats, and even jail time may not deter them from harming you, as getting their next sadistic fix is all they care about. The last type of narcissistic supply overlaps partially with the others, but how it is expressed differs, being the desperate need for power. Unlike the feeling the sadist gets from ruining your life or hurting you, here it is a godlike feeling that they can get you to do whatever they want or shape your life. Which is why some narcissists love young children, as they can mold the child into whatever the narcissist wants them to be. The overt narcissist often seeks money, status, or some hierarchical position that gives them power over others. Or they will use fear and violence to get you to comply. Many love to become judges or managers or take other positions where they can decide upon people's future. But the covert narcissist is a cunning snake. They love to change you subtly by guilt and shame, such as telling you that a loving child would do as a parent asks, or telling you how badly people would think of you when they hear the truth. But these people can also employ third parties, often without their knowledge, to force you to change. Say you stop drinking coffee, and the narcissist cannot get you to drink coffee again. This is a threat to their sense of power. Then one day you go to the car dealership and you find the receptionist attractive. The narcissist may then behind your back tell the receptionist that you love coffee, so she makes you some. Now you are caught in a double bind, for do you say no to the coffee and make the receptionist who you like feel bad, which is a win for the narcissist, as they may ruin your chances with a receptionist? Or do you give in and drink the coffee and thereby give a narcissist the satisfaction of getting you to change? No matter what you decide, it is a win for the narcissist, who will get immense satisfaction and a feeling of power and control over you. Narcissists like these cannot stand that you make even the smallest decision without their input or approval. They want to believe that you are only successful because they allowed it and that they can take your success away at any time, which many do, sometimes just to prove to themselves that they can actually do it. Start to look at the narcissist's actions differently and ask yourself, are they trying to manipulate me into telling them how great they are? For me to feel sorry or guilty for not helping them? Trying to hurt me to boost their ego? Or trying to manipulate me to change or do things I do not want to do? Seeing a person you care for who they truly are and not who you want them to be is extremely difficult. But doing so will help protect you from their manipulation. Learn more about narcissism by watching the video suggested to you right now.